Oh, maybe not. Hey, let's talk about this matchup tonight between Glendale and Prescott, because on paper, it doesn't look that great. Glendale is 2-6 coming in, and Prescott is 7-1. But the last time we were here, Glendale was working on a 32-game losing streak. They stretched it to 33, and now they have won 2 games in a row. Do they have momentum?
They have momentum, Dave. I talked to Coach Hernandez before the game. He says the team is pumped up. They won both of those games by coming from behind, and both of those games were away. So they were very good victories for this team. They're pumped up. They think they can win this game. On the other hand, you have the Prescott Badgers, a very good football team. They're the number 3 team in the state. They have a very good quarterback, Mike McMahon. They have a very good running back, Guy Grover. And Glendale High School is going to have to stop those two if they're going to win tonight.
On paper, as we mentioned, 2-6 for Glendale, 7-1 for Prescott. Prescott's only loss has been to Agua Fria. That was the second week of the season. And that was by a score of 14-7. But what comes to mind immediately, Tim, is can you be too confident? Can you be overconfident coming into a game like this you're supposed to win?
Well, right now the Prescott team has made the playoffs. They're looking towards the playoffs. They know that Glendale High School should not win this game on paper. And Bill Gaughan is concerned about his team looking towards the playoffs and not being concerned about this game. They also came down from Prescott today at 3 o'clock. He told me that normally when they go on a bus trip, this is the 4th bus trip of the season, they're not as sharp when they play. So we have the makings of a possible upset here.
All right, the Cardinals have come onto the field. The fans are getting ready for this one here at Glendale Union High School, and we're waiting for the Badgers to come out onto the field. It should be an interesting contest. I'm Dave Tennell with Tim Ernster, inviting you now to stay tuned for high school football here on the Glendale Sports Network. It's the Cardinals and the Badgers, and it's coming right up.
Captains or players, take care of the situation, control your teammates, and if you don't, gentlemen, then we have to, and I don't want that situation to develop. Is that understood? Yes, the only persons you should talk to is white talks to white or he talks to us, red talks to red or red talks to us. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. White, you're the visiting team. Here's the head, here's the tail. I'm going to throw this in the air. You call while it's in the air. I'll catch it. I won't flip it. If I drop it, we do it over. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Call.
Heads.
What'd he say?
Heads.
Heads you called, heads it is. You may take your choice this half or next half.
This half.
This half, and what is your choice?
We want the ball.
They will receive. What goal will you defend?
That goal.
Okay, spin around, put your back there. White, come over here. Come in here one more time, guys. Good, tough, clean ball game by the rules. Good luck.
Good luck.
And rolling here on a Friday night at Glendale Union High School. I'm Dave Tennell along with Tim Ernster. You saw the toss of the coin, handled by referee Hank Mancini. I don't want any lines about having all of his records either. That is the referee, Hank Mancini. I stole Tim's best line of the night.
Well, Dave, that was a good flip, too. It flew in the air. It had a clean drop to it into the referee's hand. Very good.
Very good, huh? Okay, and then the national anthem. Prescott has won the toss, and they will receive. They will be moving from your left to your right. No wind really to contend with tonight. The Cardinals going out onto the field. They'll be kicking off. Glendale with 2 wins in a row. They defeated Sunny Slope and then Miami last week, and working on a 2-game winning streak as you take a look at Prescott and the receivers. We'll show you some of the standings now in the The Class AAA Division II standings where Agua Fria is 6-0, Prescott 5-1, their only blemish, the loss to Agua Fria. Tolleson 5-2. We've had some excellent games here on the Glendale Sports Network with Tolleson, Cortez, Washington, Sunny Slope, Goldwater, Independence, and Glendale rounding out the Division II standings.
You know, Dave, you mentioned that game that Prescott played against Agua Fria. Agua Fria won that game on a kickoff return all the way for a touchdown. And that game was very close until that happened. And Bill Gaughan has a lot of respect for that Agua Fria team, and he's hoping to see them again in the playoffs.
Well, deep is Grovers for Prescott, along with 23, Chad Cook. They are deep. Glendale's ready to kick. Jimmy Heen will do that for the Cardinals. He approaches the ball, and we're underway. It is a squibbling kick, takes as a bounce, and it is finally picked up by Grovers. And after a little bit of confusion, Grovers gets it out past the 25-yard line.
Guy Grover is a premier running back for this team. So far this season, he has 955 yards and 135 carries, 17 touchdowns on the ground. He's also the leading receiver on this team with 17 catches for 410 yards and 8 touchdowns.
And the quarterback is number 8, Mike McMahon, who has completed 60 out of 123 attempts. On the ground, Grovers gets to about the 35. McMahon has thrown for 1,068 yards, 15 touchdowns, has 6 interceptions. He is ranked 6th in the Skyline Division II.
Ricky Broughton made that tackle for Glendale High School. He's a replacement this week. Fernando Aguiano, the starting tackle, broke his hand last week, and he's out for the rest of the season.
So it is second down and about 3 as McMahon looks over the defense. Has split backs behind him. The pitch is Grovers trying to get outside, caught by the shoulder pad, down in the backfield, and that'll be a loss.
Well, the defensive end on that sign, Mark Drain, did exactly what he was supposed to do. He stopped that play from getting outside, and he was able to stop the running back, Grover, before he had a chance to really get downfield.
So Grover loses a couple. 3rd down and 6. I'll make it 3rd and 5 for the Badgers. Badgers of Prescott High. McMahon calling signals. Again to Grovers, 1st down. Grovers, the very talented running back, gets to the 46.
Well, the safety, Jimmy Heen, had to make that tackle. He grabbed him around the ankles. If it hadn't been for Jimmy Heen, Grover may have gone all the way. Jimmy Heen is only 5'8", 150 pounds. He's a junior.
So a 1st down, the first of the ball game. And it's marked up on the Prescott side. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Cardinals in a 5-2 defense. Grovers gets the handoff, finds the hole, and gets to the midfield stripe. And it looks like a fumble. The indication is the Cardinals have it. So a break in the game. And the first turnover of the game goes to the Glendale Cardinals.
Well, that's a big turnover for Glendale High School early in the game, and that's what they're going to need tonight.
So it is a 1st down right at the midfield stripe, and they'll break the huddle with Randy Funk at quarterback. Funk has split backs and a wingman to the right. Palmer gets maybe a yard. Palmer did not play in the game that they played against Sunny Slope when they broke that 33-game losing streak.
That's correct, and apparently some of the players on this football team changed the S on the mountain in Sunny Slope to a G, and as a result they were benched for that, and Palmer happened to be one of those players. But
Palmer means to Glendale what Grovers means to Prescott. It's a versatile back. Funk to throw, rolling to the left. He's got Drain. Prescott territory to the 34. 1st down for the Cardinals, their first of the game.
Well, number 65, Rick Cunningham, a senior linebacker for Prescott, was the one who made that tackle, was in on that tackle. We're going to be calling his number a lot tonight. He's a very good linebacker.
Mark Drain, who caught that pass as a junior, he'll see action at that spot along with Jimmy Lee, also a junior, and Gary Rice, their number 1 receiver, who's caught passes for 547 yards this year as a senior. Funk to Palmer, straight ahead. And the left side of that offensive line for the Cardinals doing a good job leading the way to the 30.
Last week, Tim Baldwin had 155 yards rushing in that victory over Miami.
You know, you were talking about those victories, the one over Miami and the one over Sunny Slope, Tim, and you were talking about them both as come from behind victories. But right now, with this game tonight, it doesn't matter how they were won. It only matters that they did win. Palmer. Really nothing there.
Well, those 2 victories were just what the doctor ordered for this Glendale High School team. Everybody was wondering when they were going to be able to break that losing streak.
Also, we will also mention that we have seen Glendale come out and play some excellent first quarters, only to be caught in the late stages of the second quarter and then really having problems in the second half. Be interesting to watch how they respond tonight. Funk to throw, the pressure's on, he's hit from behind, and the ball is intercepted. It was knocked free, and a turnover goes to Prescott. Now a flag is down. That is right around the 45-yard line. And the interception was made as the ball was tapped into the air by one of the Badgers. One of the Badgers came down with the football, number 60, Brett Simmons.
What happened is that ball was knocked out of Funk's hand right into Brett Simmons' hands.
Get the call here from referee Hank Mancini.
Need a red cap. Red captain.
So they'll talk the penalty over with the Cardinals, and naturally it'll be accepted. Illegal forward pass is the penalty.
Illegal handing forward on the offense. First down.
Prescott maintains possession because obviously the penalty came after they had made the interception.
I didn't see the illegal forward pass.
Well, it looked like maybe Simmons tried to hand it off to somebody forward after he knew he wasn't going to get anywhere, and maybe they'd pick up some extra yardage. But in any case, the Badgers have their second opportunity, and Grovers is just caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he's hit for a loss of maybe 2 yards.
One of the keys to this Prescott offense are their guards. Again, Prescott runs the wing T, and anytime you have the offense being the wing T, the guards are very critical to the success of the offense. They need to get out and pull downfield, do some trap blocking, so the guards are going to be very important to this Prescott offense tonight.
Credit Drain and Clary with getting outside to stop Grovers before he had a chance to turn the corner. Second down and 12. McMahon wants to throw, rolls to his right, has a receiver. It is caught at the 28-yard line. And for McMahon, his first completion of the night, and for Ryan Suttles, his first reception. We'll show you again as McMahon rolls to the right, gets comfortable in a pocket moving to the right, then spots his target, Suttles, and a nice catch.
Suttles is a backup tight end for Prescott. He's only a sophomore, 6'5", 195 pounds.
Grovers carrying inside the 25. So the Badgers with the first scoring opportunity as they are at the Cardinal 24-yard line.
Martin Delsid came over from the defensive end spot to make that tackle for Glendale.
That pass to Suttles carried about 35 yards. Setting up this second down. McMahon rolls to his left. He'll keep it. 15, McMahon to the 10. He's out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Dave McMahon is the second leading rusher on this team right behind Guy Grover. So not only can he throw that ball, he can run with it. And he's had a lot of success this season so far.
Mike McMahon. He's a senior, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Not the biggest quarterback that we have seen in Division II, but he showed us some speed. It is a first down, first and goal. They are just inside the 10-yard line. McMahon to throw, over the middle, it's caught, touchdown. Right at the goal line. The reception made by Chris Larson. And the Badgers are on the board first, leading 6-0 here in the first quarter with 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. This is a straight look-in pattern. We'll show you as McMahon takes a couple of steps back. Larson cutting now over the middle. Good camera work. As you see Larson with both feet in the end zone, and the ball just cutting the plane of that end zone for the touchdown.
Well, McMahon puts in that ball to Larson that time.
And the extra point is up and good. Carzone with the extra point, and with 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter, Badgers leading at 7-0.
Well, Larson is a wide receiver, and he and Marcotte are the two players in this team that shuttle in plays from the sidelines from Coach Gahn. And Marcotte is the second leading receiver on this team with 11 receptions this season. Excuse me, the third leading receiver with 11 receptions this season. The leading receiver is Guy Grover, who is also the leading rusher. Guy Grover has 17 receptions for 410 yards so far this season and 8 touchdowns.
Badgers lead 7-0. Cardinals will get their hands on the football for the second time tonight. First time they picked it up on a turnover at the midfield stripe. Took it to the 30-yard line, but then turned it over on an intercepted pass. Now deep for the Cardinals. You can see on the right side of your screen is their very talented wide receiver, number 80, Gary Rice. 42 is Heen. Does a lot of the kicking. McMahon kicks off. It's a short kick going to the sidelines, taken by an up man at the 25, out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Mike Castrovinci got that ball and ran it back upfield. He's a cornerback. He's only 5'9", 145 pounds, and he's a junior, so he'll be back next year.
McMahon didn't get enough foot into that one, and Glendale really has the ball in good field position at the 35. The Badgers, you're looking at them defensively, highly favored coming into this game with a record of 7 wins and a loss. They'll be in the playoffs. Cardinals here at 2-6, but they've won 2 in a row. Palmer.
Dave, I believe that was George Smith that ran at that time.
I'm sorry, it is Smith.
He is the fullback.
George has seen a lot of action in the last couple of games.
He has. Eddie Del Cid was starting earlier in the season at that fullback position. Then about 3 games ago, I was talking to Tom Hernandez, and he was undecided who would start at fullback in that Tolleson game that we did.
Castrovinci is now into the game. He is the flanker on the left side. Here's Palmer. Palmer is over the 40 to the 43. There's a flag down. Looks to be in the backfield of the Cardinals.
Well, there was a large hole on the right side of that Cardinal line for Palmer to run through. Eric Hart is the cornerback who made the tackle for Prescott High School.
Here's the problem that the Cardinals have had all season. Penalties. Hank Mancini is indicating holding against the Cardinals. So that'll nullify any gain that Palmer picked up, and they'll mark it off from about the 38.
Right there, Bobby. Holding, offense, first down.
Line of scrimmage is the 29-yard line for the Cardinals. That's the Badger defense. If the Badgers were to have a weak spot this year, it was supposed to be in defense, where they did not have very many returning starters. They used 4 down linemen, and they almost have 4 linebackers. The rush is on. Funk is hit just as he lets go of the football, and it is incomplete. A lot of pressure put on by Mark Fry.
Well, Coach Gahn was telling me earlier today that the defense that Prescott likes to run is a 5-2 defense. They like to run what they call the gap defense, where the down linemen shift. When the offensive linemen come up to the ball, they shift into the gaps, and they play the gaps. He tells me his linebackers are the leading tacklers on the team. Supposedly some very good linebackers.
So a loss in the play makes it 3rd down and a long way. 3rd down and about 16. Funk runs into his own man and he's down. Palmer and Funk got mixed up in the backfield, and it looked like Funk wanted to go outside of Palmer behind him and maybe use Tim as a blocker on the inside, and they just couldn't make the exchange. And so the ball is down at the 25, and Glendale's going to have to kick it away.
Well, number 80, Jason Awell, was also in that backfield, and I think that if that play had developed, he would have been able to stop it for a loss for Prescott.
Gutierrez in to do the kicking. He is standing at his own 15. It's a low kick, line drive, taken at the 45, and into Cardinal territory to the 45-yard line. So
that ball was taken by Mike Henwood, a cornerback for Prescott High School. He's only a sophomore, and Prescott High School has 2 sophomores starting in that defensive secondary, and they have started all season.
About a 33-yard kick and a return of about 10 yards. For the Badgers, who are in good shape again, Cardinal territory. Line of scrimmage is the 46. Mike McMahon at quarterback. Now Grovers in motion. Grovers gets the ball. Yeah, he had a good example of Guy Grover's speed just as he turned the corner and saw the hole. That extra burst of speed by number 10, Guy Grovers, in your screen there, gets them about 6-7 yards.
Well, he also had the left guard Thad Rummage out in front of him, number 54, which made that play work. And you've got to be a pretty quick guard to get through that hole before Guy Grover runs through it.
Second down and short. They need 2. McMahon still has it. Throwing in the flat, it is complete. And inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Another completed pass to Larson, Chris Larson.
Well, he's the one that scored the touchdown earlier, and he's having some good luck tonight.
McMahon will rifle this ball. We'll show you on replay. Now he comes. You can see the quick release and the speed of that ball getting to Larson. And when you can throw that hard and on a line, you can throw downfield 15 and 20 yards. The safety just does not have enough, and the corner does not have enough time to get up on the ball. Nothing there.
Number 64, Gilbert Mercado, was the one who made that tackle. He's a nose guard for Glendale High School, and he stopped that play from going anywhere.
Also Tony Knack there to help out, 68.
Tony Knack has developed very well this season. He's only a sophomore, and he has become a premier defensive lineman in that Glendale line.
A lot of young players on this Cardinal football team, varsity football team. They may have something going for the next year or so. McMahon had thoughts of running it into the flat, incomplete. Intended out there for number 31, Robin Peterson.
Robin Peterson is a senior on this team. He's 5'10", 185 pounds. And he was open. That ball was just overthrown a little bit.
Coverage there on the play by 48, Jimmy Lee. And Eddie Delsett also helping out on the coverage. So, it's 3rd down and 10. Prescott hasn't faced this much tonight. McMahon retreats to throw. Now in the flat. It is caught, but it's going to be way short of a first down. It was to Grovers. It was actually his safety valve. McMahon not seeing anything downfield. Checked off immediately, went to Grovers. And it's way short of a first down. Picked up maybe only 4.
Jimmy Heen was on the coverage that time for Glendale, and there wasn't much he could do about defending that pass.
Here's McMahon. He just took one glance downfield and then said, wait a minute. I'll go to the bread and butter and go to Grovers. But Grovers had a tough time picking it up. And in doing so, didn't get much. Chris Garzone in for a field goal attempt. This is of 35 yards. It is long enough, and it's good. Just barely made it.
Well, that's only Chris Garzone's second field goal of the season. Prescott has not had to kick many field goals this season. He does have a 40-yard range, so that was well within his range.
Well, I said 35, but that was 40 yards. It was a 40-yard kick by Garzone. Just within his range. And boy, did you see the officials as they backed up and watched to see if it had enough arc just to get over. We'll show you it again. Chris gets the ball up. Now watch. This just barely gets over. Yes, that's all it has to do.
In fact, I bet there's some stripes on that goalpost from that ball hitting it.
3 points for the Badgers with 1:54 to go. Here in the first quarter, Prescott leading it now by a score of 10-0 over the Glendale Cardinals. Back is Rice and Heen. Rice on the right side of your screen, number 80, 42 is Heen. And McMahon will do the kicking. There's Mike McMahon, ready to go. Another line drive type kick, squibbling. Picked up by an up man, getting it to the 35, maybe the 34-yard line as they unpile, and on the bottom of that pile.
That was run back by a wingback, Jimmy Lee, number 48. He's 5'8", 135 pounds. He's a junior. And Coach Hernandez uses him and Mike Castrovinci to shuttle in plays. You know, Dave, I heard a rumor about last week. I heard you didn't show up because we wouldn't let you wear your Halloween costume. Is that true?
Which costume was that?
Well, I heard you wanted to come as Barbara Walters last week.
I was wondering why you were still wearing your mask. Okay, 1st and 10 from the 35. Funk rolling, wants to throw. The rush is on, and he gets it downfield, and it is incomplete, intended for Rice. Rice got turned around by the defender on the play. 44, Eric Hart. And Hart, in turning Rice around, had himself turned around, and Rice almost got behind him. Had he have done that, it would have been a touchdown.
Well, he was getting open towards the end there. If that ball would have been thrown a little further, he might have been able to get that and run it back for a touchdown.
Rice is 547 yards on the year, 6 touchdowns, averaging about 18 and a half yards a catch. Ranked 7th in the Division 3 or Division 2.
Well, he had a big week last week too, both offensively and defensively.
On to throw in the flat, caught by Brain, out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line, or the 45-yard line.
Last week, Rice had 5 receptions for 54 yards and 1 touchdown.
Well, we had to wait. It is the 40-yard line. Here's Funk. Excellent pass right on the money. Drain makes the reception and goes out of bounds. It's short of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.5. He's got to get to the 45 for a first down. Smith. George, with the determination, just simply gets the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line. That was a good run.
Right now, the left side of that Glendale offensive line is blocking very well. David Odell and Brad Rich are the ones that are opening up those holes, and there are some big gapping holes on that side of the line right now.
Randy Funk did a good job in bringing the linebackers on too, and letting the linemen, the defensive linemen, think he was going to pass. He would raise up for just a second. The linemen then, seeing that, would start to deploy in a pass rush. That really opened the hole for George Smith in the middle. First down. Movement on the left side of the defensive line for the Badgers, and that'll cost him 5 yards.
Well, Sam Ostrino jumped offside that time. He's a junior.
Dead ball, Coachman, defense.
That's an easy 5.
He might be a little bit concerned. He's going both ways tonight for the first time. This is his first offensive start at tackle, and he's played defense as a regular all season, but
they're in Prescott territory at the 48. There's the Glendale sidelines. 48-yard line of Prescott. Cardinals with the ball, first down and 5. Palmer, good second effort. Gets Palmer about 3.
Well, good hard running by Palmer. Jason Ewald got him around the ankles and pulled him down, the defensive end for Prescott.
Is Rice, 24 is Palmer. Second down and 2. The pitch is to Palmer. Flag is down as he crosses the 45, and they'll give him forward momentum to about just over the 45-yard line, so he's short of a first down by a yard.
Brett Simmons and Clint Ross are the Prescott defensive men that pulled him down. Brett Simmons is a senior, and Clint Ross is a junior.
Flag is down, and they're discussing it with the Badgers. So we'll see what the call is. Hank Mancini, the referee, in the white cap. The other officials here tonight, the umpires, Bobby Bonds.
Holding on the offense, still second down.
That's going to cost them back to the 45. We got Hank Mancini and Bobby Bonds here tonight.
I think they're performing at halftime.
Head linesman is Dwight Becker. Lynn Corder is the line judge. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score here at Glendale Union High School is the Prescott Badgers 10 and the Glendale Cardinals nothing. Second quarter is coming up.
Dave, have you seen any surprises out there this first quarter?
No, I really haven't. The opportunity came early in the first quarter for Glendale when Glendale had that chance on the turnover right at the 50-yard line when they could not capitalize when they moved into Prescott territory early. When they could not capitalize on that, that was their opportunity in the first quarter. Outside of that, the turnover then really turned things back to the Prescott Badgers, and the Badgers then taking it down for the touchdown gave them the momentum. That's where we stand right now. Cardinals with the ball, they've got to do something here in the second quarter.
Well, and Guy Grover and Mike McMahon have picked up right where they left off last week.
Palmer, short of a first down, but on a long yardage play. They picked up yardage to the 46.
You know, Dave, I mentioned earlier that Bill Gaughan used to coach at Glendale High School. In fact, a number of coaches on this west side started out at Glendale High School. Bill was here from 1972 through 76. He started out as a cross-country coach and spent a couple years coaching the freshman team. And he and Tom Hernandez were very good friends. And in fact, they used to scout other teams for the varsity.
You're wondering what's going on down on the field right now. They ran that last play without changing goals because there was a penalty on the final play of the first quarter. So after that play was done, then they went ahead and switched directions, even though we were a couple of seconds into the second quarter. Clock is running with 11 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Well, now they run the clock down, and they're going to reset it at 12 minutes. That's what referee Hank Mancini wanted done. So they were letting the clock run down. They should not have started the clock on that play. They should have run that play with no time on the clock as the final play of the first quarter because there had been a penalty. So now we got that set. Do you understand what I just said?
That. I'm going to have to go home and watch the replay so I can understand what you said.
I just hope I'm right. Okay. The ball pops free. George Smith fell on it. So the Cardinals retained possession. Evidently, he was not down. Forward progress was not stopped. And so the play will stand, and the Cardinals will have to punt it away.
Well, number 60, Brett Simmons, made a big hit on that running back to cause that fumble that time.
There it is. Huge hit. Defensively, Smith heads up football to recover it. And give Gutierrez a chance to punt the ball away and get him out of danger here.
Rick Cunningham was also there in that tackle.
High kick, up man at the 35 to the 40-yard line.
Well, that was Mike Henwood who returned that punt.
Only about a 25-yard kick and about a 6-yard return.
He's one of those sophomore cornerbacks.
I don't know whether it's the cold weather tonight or it's a little bit nippy.
Well, it's damp and it's cold, and I also heard you didn't show up because it was a little wet last week, Dave.
Boy, you should have been where I was in Spokane. It was a little wet there too. McMahon gives to Grovers. Grovers has blocking. Grovers has running room, first down. Grovers to the 48-yard line of the Cardinals.
Dave, if you watch where those guards are when that play develops, they're out in front of that running back, they're downfield, they're blocking for him, and they're the one that's making Guy Grover run so effectively right now. Thad Rummage was about 10 yards downfield in front of Guy Grover where he should belong on that play.
Unofficially, we have Grover's over 1,000 yards now for the season with that run.
I thought you were going to tell me he had 1,000 yards tonight there for a second, Dave.
No, not yet. Matter of fact, they've done a pretty good job against him, but he has surpassed the 1,000-yard mark unofficially. Guy Grovers. Outside for 5 or 6 yards. 23 is Chad Cook.
Chad Cook is a backup wingback. Plays behind Jim Prater. He's also a senior.
We got some first quarter stats for you that we'll give you in a minute. Second down and 6. Second down and 6. McMahon over the middle. Defender had fallen down. It is complete. Big yardage to Ryan Suttles. .23-yard line of the Cardinals. Defender had fallen down, and Suttles, who is a tight end at 6'5", 190 pounds, a big target right over the middle.
Well, he's a young target, too. He's only a sophomore.
Rice got turned around defensively. He was covering Suttles. Suttles, the sophomore tight end, made that reception. So another first down for Prescott. And Grover straight ahead. Gets to about the 15. And that'll make it second down as Grovers picks up 8 yards on the play. Second down and 2.
Coach Gahn was telling me before the game tonight that basically they're going to be running 6 running plays tonight, and it's not going to be real fancy, but what they want to do is give Glendale different looks at the line when they come up to the line of scrimmage. They're also going to be changing their cadence and going a lot on the first noise from once the quarterback gets underneath the center.
Grovers outside. First down and more. He's in for a touchdown. Just barely made it to the flag stick.
Well, you got to really admire the balance that he showed on that running. A couple Glendale players had their hands on him, and he kept his balance, and he fought them off, stiff-armed a couple of them, and he fought his way in the end zone. That was a very good run by Guy Grover.
So Grover scores. 15-yard gallop for him. Garzone is in for the extra point, and that kick is up, and it is good. So 9 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. And Prescott has taken a 17-0 lead over Glendale. In the first quarter, the statistics, Prescott had 52 yards passing, 48 yards rushing. That's a very balanced attack. Glendale 22 yards passing and 28 yards rushing. Each team had a turnover. So in total yards, Prescott, a 2-1 advantage, 100 yards to 50 for Glendale. Time of possession was pretty even. Prescott held the football for 6 minutes and 29 seconds, but Glendale had it for 5 minutes and 31 seconds in the first quarter.
Dave, Bill Gahn needs one more win this season to get the home field advantage for the playoffs. So he's anxious to win this game, and if he wins this game tonight, then when he enters the playoffs on his own home field.
That's Eden Rice deep for the Cardinals to receive this kick from Mike McMahon. McMahon ready to go. McMahon's kick a little bit healthier this time as it goes to Heen at the 5. Straight up the middle. Saw an opening for just a moment. And he gets to the 30-yard line.
Eric Hart was one that made that tackle for Prescott High School. He's a senior. He's one of the cornerbacks, a senior cornerback, 5'10", 155 pounds.
Well, special congratulations to our statistician, Jim Lebovic, tonight for coming up with time of possession in the first quarter, huh? Jimmy's our statistician, has been here all year.
Dead ball. Personal foul this way. Dead ball. Personal foul that way.
Well, what does that do for you? Nothing, huh? Personal foul each way. This gives them an opportunity to throw the flag down.
Both of these teams are healthy this week. You only have the one injury to Fernando Aguiano for Glendale, who broke his hand last week and is out for the rest of the season. But other than that, Glendale High School is healthy, and the Prescott Badgers are also healthy. So both of these teams are in very good shape health-wise for this late in the season.
Well, in high school football, when that happens, you have a personal foul both ways. You have to mark it off. Physically mark it off, set it down, indicate personal foul, then pick it up, bring it back to the original line of scrimmage and indicate personal foul. So,
and that's charged against both team officially, isn't it? It's also going to the official stats.
It does. 17-0, Prescott leading Glendale. Prescott, heavy favorite coming into the game. They're a playoff team. They're 7-1. They've lost only to number 1 Agua Fria. Prescott ranked number 3. Long pass down the field. Rice. Intended for Rice, incomplete. And they're defending on the plays, 22, Mike Henwood.
Well, that ball was underthrown, and Mike Henwood had his hands on the ball, and that should have been an interception that time.
Rice looked like he had position on Henwood, too, as he had gotten behind Henwood, but Henwood really pulled up in order to catch the pass. Funk just put everything he had on that football right there and didn't get it down field. He's going to have to let that ball go sooner and let Rice run underneath it. Funk is 2 for 6. He has 22 yards, 1 intercepted so far in the game. Randy Funk. Cardinals are down 17-0. Palmer hit right at the line of scrimmage. Just nothing doing on that play. 22, Mike Henwood, who almost intercepted that pass before, was there to help on the stop.
Well, number 30, Clint Ross, made the tackle for Prescott, the linebacker, on the left side of that line.
Ross is one of the experienced persons on that Prescott defense. He is a senior linebacker. Not a real big guy, though, 5'10", 175 pounds. So it's a third down. Third down and 10 for the Cardinals. Funk in the flat. Rice has it, looking for blockers. Nobody there. He may have lost a yard.
Good pursuit by the defensive end, Brett Simmons. He stayed right with Rice and prevented that play from really developing. That almost looked like it could have been a lateral that time, Dave.
Yeah, it could have been. Glendale's in the situation now where they just have to try different things to see what's going to work to get something going offensively. Unfortunately, that may take a little too much time. It's 17-0 right now. Glendale is behind. Gutierrez to punt. Gets it away from his own 20-yard line, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, that was not a real good punt.
Line of scrimmage was the 28-yard line, and they will mark it just over the midfield stripe at the 49. So that's about a 23, 24-yard punt.
That's right. That's a little less than his average for the season.
Badgers take over in good field position again. They are an offensive unit that does not really need good field position. Mike McMahon, their quarterback. Guy Grover is their running back and also receiver. Into Prescott land, or into Cardinal territory to the 49, and there is a flag down. Grovers picks up a couple, and the flag was right there at the end of the play. We'll get the call from Hank Mancini.
Face mask, defense, 22.
When it rains, it pours.
Well, that was called against Eddie Dillstead. He's the one that made the tackle that time. I couldn't see the face mask, but apparently that's what he used to pull Grover down to the ground.
You're looking at the Cardinal defense. So a first down indicated. Line of scrimmage is the 34-yard line of the Cardinals. The Badgers, who didn't see them mark it off, have to come running up to the line of scrimmage as they were way back in the huddle. Grovers has 71 yards so far here in the first half. He's carried the ball 11 times. McMahon has 61 yards throwing, and he has the football now. Whips it to his intended receiver around the 20, incomplete, intended for Grovers. McMahon 61 yards. Has hit 5 of 7 now and has a touchdown pass.
Well, he threw behind Grovers that time, and then as Grovers reached for the ball, he slipped and fell. Grovers was well covered that time, and looked like he may have thrown that ball a little bit too early.
McMahon went to his left and looked like he sidearmed the ball. And if he can get that much on the ball by sidearming it, he's a talented quarterback, 2nd and 10. McMahon the option, keeps it himself, turns upfield. He'll be just short of the 30. It's turned into ball control for the Prescott Badgers.
Well, number 60, Ricky Broughton, was the one there to make the tackle for Glendale High School. He's that replacement for Fernando Aguiano, who broke his hand last week and will be out for the rest of the season.
17-0, Prescott leading here. 6 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the second quarter. Dave Tennell along with Tim Ernster here on the Glendale Sports Network. Bringing you high school football, the Cardinals against the Badgers. McMahon retreats to throw over the middle, almost intercepted by Delson. Eddie had the ball for a second, And it was just, maybe there was just too much on it for him to hold on to.
Well, it was in and out of his hands, and we've seen that happen a couple times tonight with receivers and defenders, and it might be that this cold, damp weather makes that football a little bit harder, and it's a little bit hard to handle out there in the field.
Wind is picking up a little bit, too. It is behind the Badgers, so it is going with them against the Cardinals in this second quarter. But it has picked up a little bit. And it is a cool, crisp breeze. McMahon doesn't like the formation. Now turns around and calls timeout.
It looked like he was pointing at the referee. Maybe the referee was offsides.
Could have been.
Dave, I was down on the field before the game started, and surprisingly, even though we've had a lot of rain the last few days here in Glendale, the field is in very good shape. Even the center of the field where there have been a lot of action, it's not slippery. There's still some turf out there, so that should not be a factor tonight.
Almost like there was a tarp on the field. I noticed that too as we walked across the field. Now the flag in the far end zone. Hey, there's some of our camera people. Wave now, okay. Some of the camera people here with the Glendale Sports Network.
Well, the camera crews have done a good job this year.
Now there's somebody who is warm tonight. The Cardinal mascot, believe me. That's the Cardinal defense. Line of scrimmage, the 30 for the Badgers. On a 17-0 lead over the Cardinals. Now Mike McMahon has his receiver on the right side that he wanted in the first place before he called that timeout. McMahon retreats, wants to throw on the right side. Grovers has the screen set for him. Grovers cuts back inside, spins, twists and turns to just short of the 15-yard line.
Well, Dave, that was a great example of the guards pulling out, being in front of that play. They just completely leveled Eddie Dilsett, number 22, number 54, Thad Rummage, and number 51, Ted Simons, were right out in front where they should be on that play.
We'll show you the pass in the flat. Well, wait a minute. We want to hold here. We're back to live action here. Maybe we get a chance to show you that screen pass to Grovers after he carries the ball this time outside. Grovers one-on-one, cuts inside, and almost broke away for another score. He's to the 5-yard line. Okay, here comes that replay now. On the screen pass to Grovers, the right side. McMahon waiting. Look how he looks off the defense. Now gets it to Grovers. Grovers cutting back, ups, and twists to the 15.
Gary Rice was the one that made that tackle on Grovers.
So it's first down and goal. They're right at the 5-yard line. McMahon taking his time, looking over the defense. Now the inside handoff to the goal line and a touchdown for the Badgers again. Is on the carry, 31, Robin Peterson. Scores for the Badgers and gets congratulations all around as he comes back to the huddle.
Well, one of the reasons this Prescott running game is working so well right now is that the blocking by the tackles and the guards in that front line is just excellent.
Ott will hold. Garzone will do the kicking for the extra point. That kick is up and it is good. 5 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the first half, and Prescott with a commanding 24-0 lead. We'll show you the run to the goal line by number 31, Robin Peterson, for the touchdown. Also, I think the reason that the Badgers have such success is that they are so versatile. They have so many different running backs that see action. And there you can use Grovers so many times to set up the touchdown, and then all of a sudden the ball's handed off to another running back, a guy that you haven't seen very much of, and there are 6 points on the board. That's Heen,
well,
one of the deep men for the Cardinals.
This offensive squad for Prescott is a very well-coached squad, and what's interesting is that when you compare the size of this Prescott squad to some of the offensive lines that we've seen this year, Dave, it's not that big of a line. They're just executing very well out there right now.
Jimmy Heen and Gary Rice are deep for the Cardinals. And it looks like this time Garzone will kick off instead of McMahon. McMahon has had some trouble getting the ball downfield, so Garzone will kick off. And he gets some leg into it as it goes to Rice, who takes it at the 5. Rice straight up the middle now, trying to get to the outside, looking for speed. Rice wants to turn the corner at the 30. Out of bounds at the 35. There you see him, number 80, Gary Rice, getting up after that excellent return of 30 yards.
Well, that tackle was made by Jason Ewald, number 80 for Prescott. So number 80 tackled number 80.
Penalties in the game. Glendale has 4 for 50 yards. Prescott has been penalized twice for a total of 20 yards so far in the game. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Cardinals with the football, and they're down 24-0. Line of scrimmage is the 36. Palmer. Sweep is to the right. Palmer squeezes through. He may have gotten enough for a first down.
Well, number 65, Rick Cunningham, grabbed onto Palmer's legs, but Palmer just kept pumping and was able to go for about another 5 yards before he was pulled down. That was a very good effort by Palmer.
I want to show you the kickoff again. And this excellent return, Gary Rice. Rice takes it at about the 5-yard line. Now when he gets to the pack, he sees the opening here. Now it's sheer speed to the outside. Good run back by Gary Rice. It is a first down for the Cardinals, and Palmer gets the call again. And the slant in gets him maybe 5 yards. That was just a quick trap play by the Cardinals, sending Palmer to the inside.
Well, those quick trap plays have been working for Glendale tonight, and Tim Palmer has had some success tonight running.
Second down, and they gave him 4. Second down and 6. Funk has not had very much success in the air. What success the Cardinals have had so far seems to be on the ground with Palmer. Out of sync, the ball is fumbled at the 48, and it is recovered by the Badgers. That play just never had an opportunity to get started. It looked like the timing was off. It looked like they had jumped offside on the right side, but there were no flags. And when the pitch came out to the outside, it was fumbled and recovered by the Badgers.
Well, there was some confusion on that front offensive line for Glendale. It looked like the guards began pulling before the right side of the line even began moving.
So a turnover for the Cardinals gives the Badgers the football at the Cardinal 49. McMahon still in the game. Ball carrier is Guy Grovers and fights his way to the 43.
Well, number 40, Mark Drain, the defensive end for Glendale, made a very good tackle on that play. Excuse me, Mark Drain is not the defensive end. Yeah, he is the defensive end.
Drain does play both ways. There's a lot of action on defense. Grovers, again, is going to be short of the 40. It'll bring up third down and about 2. Grovers is 10. Guy Grovers, number 10. Came into the game with 954 yards. Unofficially, we have him very close to the 100 mark here in the first half. So he has surpassed the 1,000 yards for the season. He has a touchdown here tonight, so he has 9 on the year. Batted up in the air and intercepted by the Cardinals to the 42-yard line.
Well, one of those Cardinal linemen got their hand up in the air and knocked that ball, deflected that ball, and it was intercepted by number 30, Rob Clary, the linebacker.
Looks like it was intercepted by number 60.
Oh, was that 60?
Ricky Broughton, we're going to show you that. There's Ricky, number 60, making the interception after it was batted up in the air by number 30, huh? Rob Clary? Is he the man who got the hand on it?
I'm not sure who got their hand on it.
Rob was right there helping out. Oh, there's movement on the right side. That'll cost the Cardinals 5 yards. Maybe we can see that replay again. Stu Radowick is our director and our producer in the truck. And he's handling everything. There's Hank Mancini calling offside on the Cardinals. That'll cost him 5.
Well, that's an unfortunate penalty for Glendale right now.
Okay, here's that replay again on the interception. Batted up in the air. Yeah, it was. Clary, number 30, who made the initial hit. He batted the ball up into the air. and 60.
Well, that's the sign
Ricky
of
Broughton.
a good lineman. Get his hands up in the air and knock that ball down.
Hey, the old tip drill paid off, huh?
That's right.
Grover's unofficially 103 yards for Prescott on the night so far, but this is the Cardinals, and Funk wants to throw, looking for somebody, now just puts it up in the air. It is incomplete, almost intercepted. Rice, the intended receiver.
Well, that would have...
Make that, not Rice downfield, but 36, Mike Castrovinci.
Well, that would have been intercepted by Mike Henwood for Prescott, but one of his own players knocked it down before he had a chance to grab the ball.
So they had a lot of coverage down there. 43 is Brad Fain. Brad is a 6'4" tight end. And that's a big target to throw over, trying to get to your receiver. Funk has elected to go long most of the time tonight, hasn't tried anything short underneath yet, which is a little surprising. That change could be made at halftime. But right now we have 1:41 to go here in the first half. Cardinals with it. Funk rolling to his right, wants to throw again, throwing long. Double coverage, it is intercepted this time. Intended for Rice, intercepted at the 39-yard line by 22 Mike Henwood.
Well, that's about the third opportunity Mike Henwood has had to intercept a pass, and it finally fell in his arms.
Hold the phone now. We have a flag down, and they are discussing it with referee Hank Mancini. The call is blocking below the waist, and it's against the Cardinals. We'll show you the pass again, intercepted. Funk going back. Now right here at this moment, he just puts it up as hard as he can and as long as he can, but it's nowhere near close enough to get to Rice.
Well, Randy Funk has been underthrowing his receivers all evening. He's been having a little difficulty getting that ball downfield far enough.
I would have to imagine the coaching staff's going to get together at halftime and say, hey, look, we got to throw underneath this coverage and see what we can pick up maybe 8, 9, 10 yards down the field. It's no doubt the ends are getting out there for the Cardinals, but the defense is getting back and covering it. Grover's excellent speed and moves across the midfield stripe to the 48-yard line of the Cardinals. Another first down.
Well, they're in their hurry-up offense right now. I'm surprised they're not throwing more to Mark Drain, who seems to be getting in the open from that tight end position.
That gives Grover's unofficially in the game 115 yards in the first half. Minute 14 to go. First down for the Badgers. They own a 24-0 lead over the Cardinals, and the rush is on, and they're going to get to McMahon in the backfield.
Well, number
flag
4
is down. A late flag comes in. That'll stop the clock. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Well, Mark Drain blitzed from his defensive end position and was able to get the quarterback before he had a chance to throw that ball, and Coach Gahn was concerned about Coach Hernandez blitzing more tonight in an effort to upset that passing game of Prescott, and that time it has seemed to work.
46-yard line. Here's the call from Hank Mancini coming up. Well, a personal foul on both sides. Hank indicated, but he didn't say anything. His mic is still working. But if you could read lips, it was personal foul on both sides. So we'll mark off 15 yards against Prescott, but don't get excited now.
Oh, personal foul. This way. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Now we're going to go back 15 yards.
Well, number 11, Tyler Williams, just came in the game for Prescott. He's a wide receiver, and his father is Jerry Williams, who was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles back in the early 60s, Dave. So that's a football family.
I don't remember that. That was too long ago. A minute and 3 seconds to go in the first half.
Dave,
early
it wasn't
60s.
that long ago.
Early 60s. I was just a kid. Hoping that someday I would be here with Tim Ernster doing these games. Grover's. A couple of yards. We're in the final minute of the first half.
Well, they're in their hurry-up offense again.
24-0, they lead. The Badgers lead the Cardinals. They like to get another score here. They have the wind at their backs. The wind isn't really much to speak of right now. McMahon just barely got it away.
Well, Drain came in from that defensive end position again and blitzed and was successful again to hurry Grover's pass.
Suttles was the intended receiver. Mark is doing a good job defensively to put the pressure on Mike McMahon. McMahon has had success throwing the ball here in the first half. Has a touchdown. But on fourth down, they're going to have to kick the ball away. 35 seconds to go. That incomplete pass, too, works against them. It stops the clock.
McMahon has a 41-yard average on punts.
Now they have to call timeout. They were a man short. There's Gary Rice, as you see on your screen now. We're going to take a little break here. We'll be back with the final 35 seconds of the first half right after this.
enough of your love.
Yeah, red captains especially. Let's cut the swinging out here. This is football.
35 seconds to go in the first half. I'm Dave Tennell with Tim Ernster, and right now it's all Prescott. Prescott leading Glendale by a score of 24-0. The Badgers ranked third in Division II, Class AAA. They've lost only one time, that to number one, Agua Fria, the second week of the season, 14-7. McMahon to kick it away. The rush is on, but he does get it away. Bumped a little bit. Rice will just watch the ball fall and take a Prescott bounce towards the goal line. And they will down it at about the 4-yard line. So that will not give the Cardinals too much to do here in the final 24 seconds. You don't want to make any more mistakes, especially deep in your own land. That's Coach Tom Hernandez on the sidelines for the Cardinals. Cardinals with a two-game winning streak. They defeated Sunny Slope to break that long drought, seeing that losing streak mount to some 33 games, and then defeated Miami last week coming from behind. So they're on a two-game win streak now.
I understand Dan Marino couldn't play in that game for Miami, so that may have made the difference right there.
That's good, Tim. Good. Final seconds ticking off, 6 seconds. Cardinals really don't even have to run a play here. They can just let it run out, not take any more chances. And that's it, but there's a flag down on the field, and you could see on your monitor, on your screen, on the left side of the Cardinal line, somebody stand up. And that called for the flag from the far side, so whether they want to or not, they're going to have to run another play before this half ends.
Dave, I was watching the referee that time as he reached for his flag, and it looked like it was slow motion. I think he was kind of hoping the clock would run out before he could pull that flag out of his pocket.
Well, I think he was debating whether to do it or not. You know, whether to call the penalty or not. It's 24-0 right now. The Badgers with the lead.
You just saw a shot there of Tom Hernandez.
Well, they can decline the penalty. They have the option of declining the penalty because they are leading, and they decided to decline the penalty, the Badgers.
There he is again. Tom Hernandez said that they were going to have to stop Guy Grover tonight if they were going to have an opportunity to win this game, and so far they have not been able to do that. So my guess is they'll go in the locker room and regroup and figure out how they're going to stop this Guy Grover, Mike McMahon combination.
Yeah, this is a combination that's put a lot of points on the board in a lot of football games, and so with 24 points on the board after several turnovers, you can actually go into the locker room and say our defense played so-so. What they have to concentrate on right now is offensively. And their pass patterns, their schemes of trying to go long, with Funk trying to get to Rice on long pass patterns, I think is just not going to work. They've got to come back with a plan that's going to throw underneath the coverage something of 9, 10, maybe 11 and 12 yards, and try that type of scheme. 24-0 at halftime. The Badgers leading the Glendale Cardinals. And we're going to take a little break and come back here at halftime and give you some statistics at halftime before we get to the second half. But I'm Dave Tennell along with Tim Ernster. Our halftime score, Prescott 24, Glendale nothing. We'll be back with more after this.
And we would like to recognize the senior.
We're at halftime. I'm Dave Tennell along with Tim Ernster, and here at halftime, Prescott owning a 24-0 lead over Glendale. And as I look down some of the statistics here, Tim, you can see that Prescott with a big advantage in total yards, 222 total yards to only 55 for Glendale, and that in itself can be the story of this game.
Well, Glendale has not been able to get their offense on track tonight. On the other hand, Guy Grover and Mike McMahon have picked up right where they left off last week with this offense that is really doing very well.
8 first downs to 3 for Glendale. Glendale has 3 turnovers in this game, something that continues to plague them.
That doesn't help when you're behind by 24 points.
Neither does this. Penalties, 6 penalties for the Cardinals for a total of 70 yards against them in the game. And Prescott has 3 penalties and 35 yards against Prescott. Time of possession, though, Glendale has owned the football for over 14 minutes in this game. Prescott has had it for just short of 10 minutes.
Well, when Prescott has had the ball, they've scored very quickly. On the other hand, Glendale has had some long drives where they've tried to run the ball, and I think that's been the difference in that time of possession.
But from the board, 24-0 over Glendale, and they have done it through the air, and they have done it on the ground. I'm going to show you some of the scores from last week, and Glendale here tonight, the Cardinals defeated Miami last week 13-9, and Prescott defeated Washington by a score of 31-12. In that Washington game that Prescott won last week, 4 touchdown passes in that game, and Grover caught 3 of those touchdown passes.
Well, that was a big inning for McMahon. He was 15 of 23 for 244 yards, and as we said earlier, Dave, Guy Grover is a leading receiver on this team as well as a leading rusher so far.
Grover's has over 100 yards rushing in this first half, and so he is over 1,000 yards for his season, and he is an excellent all-around, all-purpose back. You're taking a look at some of the activity that's going on in the field. There's Gary Rice, the wide receiver for the Cardinals, and it is Parents' Day here, and the parents of the football team, the players of the football team, being honored here at halftime.
Well, this is what the high school sports is all about. You get the parents involved, you get the teachers involved, and the coaches involved, and it certainly is a festive night tonight. Next week, we're going to be doing Glendale's homecoming game, so that should also have very good halftime festivities.
We will be right back here at Glendale Union for the homecoming game between Glendale and Independence.
In fact, I saw Bill Smith, the athletic director for Glendale High School, just before this game started, and he told me next week they have a lot of very colorful halftime activities planned, and he inquired as to whether we'll be covering those or not. So we're going to have to talk to Stu and see if he can get some of that halftime color next week.
What about it, Stu? Do you think we're going to be able to do that at halftime next week? You can't hear that. Can you hear that?
Well, I don't think they can hear that, but
Stu said that you fired him.
Yeah, that's right. I might hold him on one more week, though.
Stu Radowick is our director in the truck. That is the halftime festivities. Down on the far end of the field, the Prescott Badger cheerleaders, be on the far left-hand side of your screen. The Prescott cheerleaders, the Badger cheerleaders, are waiting for the Badgers to come out, and also the Badger mascot has made the trip down from Prescott. There's the cheerleaders, there's the mascot.
Well, they're all set to go. You know, I don't hold grudges, but just before the game started, Stu asked me if I was hungry. I hadn't eaten dinner, and he said he was going to go out and get something for me to eat. Comes back with a 39-cent McDonald's hamburger for me, and that's all I got out of that deal.
Must have been something you said, I think.
It must be. I don't know.
So the halftime festivities are coming to a close. We're waiting for the Prescott Badgers to make their appearance back onto the field. And here they come. Glendale Cardinals are already out, and they're saying so long to their parents. The parents are making their way back into the stands. We have pretty good attendance here tonight. There are some of the parents as they head back to the stands.
Dave, last week it was very interesting. You missed it, but we did the Independence All-Free game last week. And at the end of the halftime, Independence came out on the field late, and they were assessed a 15-yard penalty because they were late on the field.
You know, you never miss an opportunity to tell everybody that I was not here last week.
Well, Dave, you know, I know you only signed to do 9 games this season with us, but I thought you might be able to squeeze one extra game out.
You know, one thing I'd like to say, though, Tim, about this support of the Glendale Cardinals. The Cardinals have received a lot of good support, and the parents come out here, they watch these games, and Out of a lot of the high school games that we do around the valley, we see some of the biggest crowds right here.
That's correct, Dave. And as we've mentioned before, Glendale is one of the oldest high schools in the state. And in the stands right now, you see parents who graduated from this high school. You also see grandparents who graduated from this high school.
It's a school with a lot of tradition, a lot of great sports history at this school. They've had a lot of great teams, and they have had teams that have had to rebuild. And maybe this Cardinal football team is on the mends, on the way back. They're playing a very talented Prescott High School football team tonight, a team that is expected to go a long way in the playoffs, a team that is ranked 3rd right now in Division II, AAA here in the state. Has lost only 1 game, that to the number 1 ranked team, Agua Fria, and that only by 7 points. So if they can do something here in the second half, who knows? 24-0. Prescott leading Glendale, and the Cardinals will get their hands on the football to start things here in the second half. Prescott will be kicking off, and they will have whatever wind we have. The Badgers will have it in their face in the 3rd quarter and have the wind with them in the 4th quarter. But the wind right now is not much of a factor.
Well, with a 24-point lead, it'll be interesting to see how quickly Prescott begins substituting in players, unless Glendale comes out here and plays a different ball game in the first half. But if it continues as the first half did, it'll be interesting to see how long Prescott allows their regulars to play in this game.
Sometimes you go a little bit longer, too, with them because you're looking for sharpness now. You're looking for sharpness as you get to the end of the season. You want consistency. And so you may see him a little bit longer. Oh, some repair work in the far end of the field for Gary Rice. He's one of the receivers back for Glendale. And kicking off in place of McMahon now is Garzone. He had a little more success in kicking off, getting a little more on the football as he does this time as it goes to an up man Heen right in the center of the field. They got to about the 33, and that's where they'll take over, and that's where they'll start things here in the second half. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals.
Dave, you mentioned that Garzone kicked off that time. Before the game, Coach Gahn indicated that he wasn't sure who would be kicking off tonight. He had mixed emotions whether it would be Garzone or McMahon. So he's tried both tonight, and Garzone seems to have had a little more success than McMahon did.
So 1st and 10. We're underway in the second half, 24-0. Prescott leading Glendale. Cardinals with the football. Palmer hitting the backfield. He's dropped for a loss.
Well, number 30, Clint Ross, is the one who made that tackle. He blitzed that time. He was a linebacker. He's a senior, 5'10", 175 pounds. You know, this is the 4th bus trip that Prescott has had to make this season. And Bill said that they make so many bus trips during the season that they really don't bother them that much. He said that his team does not play quite as sharp as they normally do when they have to make these bus trips, but it doesn't bother his team as much as you think it would.
Loss on the play, it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and about 12. You're looking at quarterback Randy Funk. The heat is on and Funk is down. Flag is down. Funk loses big yardage.
Well, number 50, Sam Ostrino, number 51, Ted Simons, were in the backfield that time with Randy Funk running him down.
We're going to get the indication now from Hank Mancini, the referee.
Forward. Motion. This way.
So a motion penalty won't help matters. Obviously, the Badgers will decline this. We'll show you on replay the heat on Funk is he just absolutely had nowhere to go. They sent everybody, knowing on a 2nd down and about 15 that Glendale was in a passing.
Well, normally you're not going to see this Prescott defense blitz very much, but they know that Glendale has to pass to get back in this game, so they're probably going to try to blitz quite often now.
Line of scrimmage, the 14. Funk gives it to Palmer. Oh no, George Smith, sorry. Smith gets a couple.
Well, that was a good open field tackle by Guy Grover. There was a big hole on the right side of that Prescott defensive line, and Guy Grover filled that very quickly and made a good open field tackle.
So back to receive the punt is Grover's 10. He is the deep man. One of the short men, 22, is Mike Henwood. Gutierrez came into the game, and he'll kick it away for Glendale. He gets the kick away from about his own 8-yard line. And taken by one of the up men. Look like Rod Schuler. Or no, check that. It is not. It is Chad Cook. And Cook gets a couple of yards back, but the Badgers enjoying good field position in the first half. Enjoy it here as we open the second half. The line of scrimmage is the 41-yard line of the Cardinals. Their first chance at the football here in the second half, 1st and 10. As you would expect, Grovers had it, but he fumbled it. And are they going to say he was down? They're indicating, Cardinals are indicating that they have the football. The fans are indicating it. But it looks like the officiating now wants to talk about it.
Well, we need a replay on that. It appeared that the ground caused that fumble. At least that was what was Guy Grover was trying to tell the referees that the ground caused that fumble. Dave, did you see it?
I would have to say that it was an awful quick whistle. I saw Grovers come out of the pack without the football, and he must have dropped it somewhere in between. Now let's get an indication. Well, we did not hear what Hank Mancini said, but the indication is there was no fumble and 2nd down. So it ends up with a gain of about 3 yards for Grovers. And that was a strange one. You saw Grovers come out of the pack without the football. Obviously he had to drop it somewhere in between. Well, he'll get it one more time. Cuts in the middle. He's got running room and speed. Grovers gets a 1st down. He is to the 18-yard line.
Well, he was dragged down by number 80, Gary Rice, who saved that from being a touchdown. Guy Grover almost broke that one.
Watch the speed of Grovers here as he turns the corner. Now, looks for the open space, and then it's just off to the races.
I can't talk enough about the blocking of number 54, Thad Rummage, for Prescott. He again was out in front of that play and made that play possible with with a key block.
You saw Rice come out of the game. He plays defensive back. Pitch outside, Grovers. Flag is down. Try to get wide. It's out to about the 10. Remember, there is a flag down.
There may have been an illegal block on that running play.
Looked like Grovers was out in front of his blockers as the pitch went to him wide. And we'll see what this call is.
Holding, offense.
Well, I suppose in a way you could call that an illegal block.
Yes, you could. Might call that a make good, too, from the play before. But we're not going to indicate that. All right, it's a holding call. It'll go against the Badgers and move them back.
Dave, you know, for some reason I look at this Badger team and I think they should be called the Eagles.
I know it. So do I. Maybe, I don't know. I'll talk that over with my good friend Rich Howe, who runs KUSK Television in Prescott. You know KUSK, don't you? Grovers, who stretches forward for an extra yard or two. Grovers gets to the 23. 2nd down and about 20. Now they'll mark it right on the 25-yard line. 3rd quarter, 7 minutes, 31 seconds to go. Badgers with the football, and they own a 24-0 lead over the Cardinals. That's quarterback Mike McMahon calling signals. Dave saw something on the defense that he liked. Over the middle, incomplete. You saw an excellent defensive play by number 30, Rob Clary, as he jumped high, or make that number 20. Martin Delsit, as he jumped high in the air and blocked that ball with one hand.
Well, that shows good coaching on the Glendale team.
On White.
Now we had a penalty too, an ineligible receiver downfield.
That defensive line does a very good job getting their hands up in the air.
We're going to show you on replay as they mark off the penalty. Now, values, hard to tell on the replay. Our original shot from behind McMahon was really a better shot, showing Dulcet going high into the air, knocking it down with one hand. So the penalty, illegal receiver downfield, also costs him a down. It's third down and about 25. McMahon has a single back. Two wide receivers on the right. McMahon throwing in that area, looking for Grovers. He's got it right at the goal line. And he is short about a yard.
Well, Jimmy Lee made that tackle for Glendale High School. He's a cornerback, and he was wide open that time.
I tell you, Grovers was really running an excellent pattern, but you have to credit McMahon with putting that ball right on the mark.
It was a very nice pass.
Let's show you this again. Now watch McMahon looking for Grovers all the way. Now watch this. Right on the mark between three defenders.
Well, he threw it right between Jimmy Lee and Jimmy Heen.
It's hard to defense a play like that when a pass is thrown right on the money. A yard or two away for the Badgers. They already lead 24-0. Grovers gets it, scampers into the end zone for a touchdown. And that puts Prescott up by a score of 30-0.
Well, Mark Drain made that tackle, but it was, unfortunately, Grovers was already in the end zone when he made that tackle.
Grover's 145-yard rushing right there as he gets into the end zone. He has 47 yards receiving, and he has 2 touchdowns here tonight. I think you're going to be talking to Mr. Grovers after the game. What do you think, Tim?
I think so.
Kick by Garzone is good. So, with timeout on the field, 6 minutes, 44 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it's getting ugly. Prescott is leading 31-0.
Well, it's interesting to note, Dave, that Glendale High School, in the 3 games that we've done, they have some very consistent performers on this team. You've got to talk about Mark Drain for his play both defensively and offensively. You got to look at Gary Rice, who plays both ways, defensively and offensively. Both of these players are top performers, and they're as good as what we've seen this season so far.
And they have players who are out there on every play. They're not injured. They're not pulling themselves out of the game, because of a bump or bruise or something. They are playing every play. They're in there for every down. Guys like Gary Rice on the right side of your screen, wide receiver who's back from this kick return, and also Heen on the left side of your screen, number 42, Jim Heen. Garzon will kick off for the Badgers. Took over the kicking duties and the kickoffs for Mike McMahon about early in the second quarter. Kick is going deep to Heen at the 10. They're setting it up on the left side. Rice with a good block. And Heen gets to the 27.
Well, number 30, Clint Ross, is the one that made that tackle for Prescott. It appeared that if he could have broken that tackle, that he may have gone for a much longer run.
Well, this is the second time that the Cardinals have had the football in the second half. The first time they went the wrong direction. Penalties. Plays for losses. Really hurt him. 28 is George Smith, lined up right behind Randy Funk. 24 is Tim Palmer, the other split back, and Palmer gets the ball. Trying to go wide, hit in the backfield, and drop for a loss.
Well, number 74, Todd Fuller, was the one that got in there and made that tackle. He's a senior. He doesn't show on our roster here as far as his size.
So a loss on the play makes it 2nd down and 16. Second down and 16. Palmer looking for a hole. Just simply nothing there.
It appeared that defensive surge on that right side of the Glendale line just pushed one of those offensive linemen right into the running back.
31-0. It has not been a great start in the second half for Glendale. They are minus 26 yards here in the second half. That is not the start you wanted to get off to after when you were down 24-0. Third down, 15. Funk just rushed, and they're teeing off on him now. They know in certain situations he has to throw the football, and unless they come out and mix it up and throw on first down, we're going to see more of this tonight. Funk gives a signal as he comes to the sidelines. Here we'll show you the replay. Now look, you're looking at it from what he sees. Too many white jerseys. He came to the sidelines and just threw his arms up in the air like, what can I do? If I don't have the time, I can't put it up.
Well, right now that offensive line isn't buying him any time.
Gutierrez about 2 steps deep in his own end zone. Gets the snap. The kick is a high floater. It'll go to Grover's. No, it is taken on the short man, and number 23, Chad Cook, calls for the fair catch. And the Badgers will have it at the 40-yard line of the Cardinals. First and 10. Unofficially on that punt, 27 yards. Referee Hank Mancini having a little talk with the Badgers. We don't know what that's about. Now he's mentioning something to the Cardinals. Now he's cranking the clock up. Maybe some tempers getting a little flared there at this point in the game.
Well, there have been some words between these players on both teams all night.
New quarterback as McMahon is out of the game. His backup is Troy Gallagher. Oh no, check that, it's Mike Henwood. Troy Gallagher also sees some action at quarterback from time to time. But Henwood is quarterbacking.
Well, Mike Henwood is also one of those sophomore cornerbacks, defensive cornerbacks. So he's getting some good experience at quarterback and probably is Prescott's future.
They like Troy Gallagher too. He is a junior. Inside handoff to Mancha. Angel Mancha checked into the game. He picks up about 3, and it'll be third down and short. Third down and 3 as Prescott is starting to substitute now on offense. They also have 84 Keith Carlson in the game at wide receiver. He is flanked out to the right. In the I formation with a slot back, a fumble, and it's picked up by the Cardinals. Recovering the fumble on the play looked like Jimmy Heen. Yes, he picked it up there. You get a shot of him and he comes off the field. So the Cardinals forcing a turnover in their own territory at the 35-yard line, and they'll take over first and 10. Now the Badgers also substituting on defense.